Welcome to our first yoga class together. Whether you are quite familiar with yoga or this is your first time that you're allowing yourself to experience this thing they call yoga. Here's the thing. I didn't even want to be called a yoga teacher after the first few years of doing it. Why? Because right off the bat, I started questioning what this whole thing's about. What am I really teaching? What gives me authority to teach yoga? Is it because I did a 200-hour yoga training? Um, well, in a way, it's enough to qualify me to teach yoga in our current culture, but it wasn't enough for me. And I'll tell you why. Something in me knew there's two yogas going on. What yoga really is, which is something you can't be certified for. And then there's yoga, characterized by yoga mats and stretching and poses and breathing techniques and meditation techniques and so forth and so on. Whatever your level of awareness of yoga, I want you to kind of meet this as your first experience with yoga. Precisely because I'm a teacher coming at you with the awareness that there are two yogas going on. And just the word yoga is, I actually really am thinking hard about this right now, how I want to say this. When I say yoga or when anyone says yoga, you got to realize there's the real yoga and then it's kind of covered up by what yoga has become. This is not just the yoga label. So it's imperative that I make that explicitly clear for you to know that. We've all heard mind, body, spirit, and all that, and yoga is supposed to address all three. But even that thinking is un-yogic in itself. It's not there's mind, and then there's body, and then there's spirit, and we're going to try to connect them all and check them off the list. Mind, body, and spirit were never separate to begin with. So what we need to do is have an approach now that we're going to practice that allows us to know that when we're moving our arm, it's not just physical stuff we're moving. We're moving our mind when we move our arm. And then how are we moving our arm? What's the spirit behind it? What's the intention? What's the feeling? Let's not do this thing anymore of separating the mind and the body and the spirit, and we got to synthetically, connect them somehow. They're already connected. What we need to do is lose the mindset that divides them in the first place. That's yoga, okay? That's one of many ways of saying what yoga is. I think it's time to globalize yoga in our minds and not try not to think of it as an Indian thing from India. Think of India as a leader and a forerunner in the art of yoga. But yoga is for everybody, essentially. It's not like I know what these poses are and what they mean, and you got to listen to me, and I'm going to tell you how to do them right so that you can make sure you're doing yoga. Think of these poses that I'm going to, as best I can, guide you verbally into this general shape without forcing, without pushing, without trying to touch your toes. I'm going to guide you into this starting point. My words take you to get the conversation going. Which conversation? Not a verbal conversation, a feeling conversation between you and your body. So I'm going to guide you there. Inevitably, it's going to make you feel something. And then you're going to start the conversation, have the conversation. And what if there wasn't any out of bounds? There's like a general idea. I want to bring you into that shape. And you're going to go, okay, that's making me feel my knee and my hip and my back. Is it too much? Yeah, it's kind of making me feel like uncomfortable. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to allow myself to back out a little bit, but not come out all the way. Just back out a little bit. Just like a massage therapist pressing in. And then you press too hard, the client on the table goes, ah. And the therapist knows, oh, oops, I pressed too hard, and you kind of reduce some of the pressure. You don't stop massaging. You just go, ooh, sorry, was that too much? And the client says, yeah, that was a little bit too much. Okay, you can have that conversation with yourself inside of you. You just have to be aware that that conversation is happening. So one of my favorite analogies for what we're doing here in the physical aspects of the practice is you are like the massage therapist to yourself, and you are like the massage client to yourself. You are both roles at the same time. And I'm just here saying, hey, try this out. Hey, try that out. And if you do this, it makes you feel that. And if you do this, you might notice this. And I'm just kind of throwing out ideas. My experience with my body is personal. There are a lot of universal experiences that I can reference, and I will. But I'm also not being dogmatic about it, like this is what you're supposed to feel, this is where you're supposed to feel it, this is what you're supposed to do. Let go of the supposed to, and let's just remember together that this mindset that I'm coming from is let's discover yoga together. I don't want to teach you this fixed, ossified modality like some kind of expert. It's got to be something deeper. It's got to be something that where we're using it as a tool, these postures, to guide us into feeling and then trusting the intelligence that's innate in that. Okay, big, huge difference. And hopefully, if I'm conveying myself clear, you are going to feel a sigh of relief at this point because what does that mean? It means no pressure. It means you don't have to get flexible. You're already perfectly flexible already. Do you need to be flexible to get a massage? No. Do you need to be flexible to feel the wonderful sensations in a massage? No. Same thing here. All we need to be on top of is that little program that all of us get. So I got to get there. I got to get further. I got to get more flexible. Oh, look at that person. He's more flexible or she's more flexible. I got to do that too. Oh, I'm not there because I'm not touching my toes. That part of us gives us a constant feeling of dissatisfaction. And we think that in order to get satisfaction, I'm going to need to get further. I need to touch my toes. But that feeling of satisfaction is fleeting and not the real thing. And then it becomes an addiction. And it's like, oh, wow, I want to be able to do this pose and that pose. And so now when we type in yoga master, Google yoga master, you're going to see all kinds of pretzel-y people. In other words, yoga master means somebody who can put their legs around their head and do an arm balance at the same time. Please understand that's the kind of yoga we're getting away from. You know what's way more impressive than a handstand with your legs around your head is you enjoying yourself authentically now without needing anyone's permission and without needing to change yourself. That's impressive. If you can pull that off, you are a yoga master. If you can keep it going, you are a yoga master. If you can trust your intuition and listen to your body and remember that it's incredible intelligence that we're interfacing with here, intelligent life, and you're living inside of one, there's a kind of humbleness that we're approaching the body with, a kind of instead of like, it's just my body, I can do whatever I want with it, and sort of take it for granted and with a sort of a sense of entitlement that is kind of standard practice for most people. We don't realize maybe that we're doing that, but we're just using our bodies. And then we come into a yoga class and we just use our bodies in a yoga way, but it's still using your bodies, which is not yoga. We're not using our body. We're meeting it. We're coming with a kind of humbleness like, okay, body, I've brought you through the ringer. I've beaten you up my whole life. I've talked badly about you. I've tried to make you look certain ways. And the reason I can talk about this is because I'm totally guilty of it too. We all do it. But until we address that, it's almost like we're denied access. Your body and all the things that you can feel, it's like a magical kingdom that we're all locked out of. My body is just this object that's here for me to manipulate. And that's where the humbleness comes in. That's the feeling of, you know what? I'm not going to assume that I know better than my body, but I'm going to assume for a moment that my body knows better than me. That's a big step right there. And if you do that and you really hold that awareness, all the rest will follow, because you're going to catch yourself when you start pushing and forcing on your body, and your body's saying, hey, what are you doing? Back off. And you're going to go, oh my God, I was just doing it. He was right. It's a deep habit. It's not something you should feel bad about. It's something you should be aware about, and something that is in all of us. And because you can get away with murder, so to speak, inside of yourself, and no one will know, because why? It's your personal relationship with yourself, you and you. And that old saying of, do the right thing even when no one's looking. Well, no one's looking, but what's the right thing? It's not the right thing isn't put your foot here and your arm here and all that. The right thing is treat yourself with honor. Treat yourself with respect. Be kind to your body. Be gentle. Gentle is not wimping out. Gentle is smart. Gentle is strong. That's the mind-body-soul connection right there. You take the quality of humility and love and respect. You use your consciousness, your mind, to manage the part of us that doesn't respect ourselves, so that we can access the body, really access the body, and see what wonders await us now. So that's my welcome today. I had no script. I'm entirely doing this from my soul because, again, I'm speaking from the place that you have access to. Also, my main goal is for you to not need me. but for you to go, wow, I know this, and to move that way, not just in your yoga practice, but in everything you do, everyone you encounter, um, all things. That's the ultimate goal of yoga, is not to be good at stretching for an hour and a half a couple times a week or even every day, but to be yoga all the time, which is to be present and to be aware, to be awake, to be gentle as we move through the world and not be a bull in a china shop, which I'm very familiar with myself. It's taken a lot of work. I've been a tough egg to crack. Nothing has taught me more than teaching this. So it's not about being perfect. It's about being aware of what the task is and devoting yourself to just feeling better and better and better. That's it. There you have it. Thanks for checking this out.